4 years now, and so Lord willing, or I'll make it that long. But yeah, it's special to be here, and it's even more special to be the winner.
Okay, we'll start opening up for questions. Just raise your hand. We'll get a mic. We'll start with Doug and then Dan.
A couple of things, as dumb as this sounds. How'd you play today?
I mean, I played all right. I didn't have my best stuff, but man, I felt like I hit a lot of good shots that were just barely off. And if I hold a few more putts, it probably would have been a really good round. But outside of that, a few bounces my way, or a few bounces or breaks go my way, they could have looked a little bit different. But I felt like I stepped up when I needed to there in the end.
Was it? You described it as a fun test. I got to think there was a lot of stress out there as well. Which was it?
Yeah, I think playing golf for a living, you're kind of just a weird person in general, kind of just taking punishment constantly. To choose this life as a golfer is not for I would say a normal person. I think we all got a few screws loose to play this game professionally, and basically just battle week in, week out. And I think that's really part of the fun of it. And so I'll look back fondly on today. Being the battle that it was. Colin was playing some really good golf. He hit a lot of quality shots today, and yeah, he was a tough man to beat for sure.
Yeah, Scottie, congratulations. No win is easy. Was this the hardest one this year?
Was it the hardest one this year? I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of hard to rate, difficulty of wins. I think maybe the players would maybe be the hardest if I could think, just because I was coming off a win, and I had the neck was bugging me pretty bad that week. But as far as satisfaction at the end of the week, this one's up there pretty significantly. Being at Mr. Nicholas's golf course and being a tournament where I've had a few close calls in the past, it's very satisfying to hold that putt on 18 and be walking off with a win, and shaking Mr. Nicholas's hand and him not saying, I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, but a couple years ago I missed a putt that maybe would have been for a playoff, and he told me I didn't make the putt today, but one day I'll make the putt on 18, and I'll be walking off to shake his hand. And so it was pretty special thinking about that as I was walking over to shake his hand today, and it was a fun week.
What made the test hard today? Was it the greens being so firm, or what?
Yeah, I think the wind was up, and it was from a direction where the downwind holes, it almost doesn't really help. Like you got holes like 18 where it's really hard to hold the green. 17, I was in between clubs, and if I hit 7-iron, I really don't think it would have even been possible for me to hold the green with it. So I tried to just smash an 8-iron and get it up there. The firmness of the greens makes this golf course so difficult because the areas are already so small, and then when you get the wind up and the green's firm, it's almost impossible sometimes to hit the ball in the right area.
What has that told you about yourself in terms of being able to really come out and still perform? Your father,
Yeah. I think I try to pride myself as much as I can on I call it compartmentalizing parts of my life. So I have my off-course life and I have my on-course life, and I'm out here practicing and playing tournaments. I don't show up to these tournaments just to play. I'm here to do my best and compete. And, so I definitely try to do my best to do that. And I think, it's definitely nice to be able to keep good form going with all that's been going on, in the world of golf and for me personally. And so, it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I think that's pretty accurate description, I think, of what it's felt like at times. And, it's definitely nice to be sitting here a winner again.
Paul and Ben, and back to Doug.
Scottie, can you take
Read off Colin's putt? His putt kind of hung out there, and he was more up on the slope than I was, and so I played a little less break than I thought, than I would have originally, and so it was helpful kind of seeing his putt there. And then on 18, it was just breaking a little right to left, and with how bumpy the greens were, or I shouldn't say how bumpy they are, how challenging it can be when the wind is up and the greens are firm, and you have the traffic on them. It can be challenging to hold those downhill putts, and so since there wasn't too much break, I felt like I hit it a touch harder than I normally would have to take the break out of it, and started on line and went right in the middle.
We've seen Meredith on the 18th grade a bunch this year as you've won. First time she was accompanied by your son. Just wondering if that moment felt any different with your son being there.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. I feel like I've talked about it a little bit this week, but sometimes I still feel like we're in high school, because I don't really have a real job. We come out here to play golf, and she's my biggest supporter. Watching her be a mom the last month or so has been really special, and I'm so proud of her. And I definitely could not be doing what I do out here on the golf course without her support. And, I haven't been out there today to celebrate even though he has absolutely no clue what's going on, you know, but it's fun for us as parents, and so we'll always be able to look back fondly on this tournament, and, you know, Benny's first week out on the road with us.
To have him win this tournament as the #1 player in the world.
Well, if you're number one, if you got the #1 player in the world there, and #1 player in the world performs and wins, you're really proud. Scottie, I know he didn't have his A game on several holes today, like a lot of fellows didn't have their A game on several holes today, but he put enough of his A game together to win the golf tournament. That's what it's all about. I love hard golf courses. I love them. I don't know whether we were hard or we were really hard, but we were hard. And you know, when he gets down and he got about a 20-footer for par, it's about what it was, 16 runs, pretty close. And you ran it right in the back of the hole, and probably the toughest hole, maybe the toughest hole on tour, I don't know. But you played short every day, didn't you?
I did.
Well, no, not the third day. Third day, you knocked the stone.
I'm trying to remember.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
third
did.
day I had a good shot.
Yeah,
The
you
other
did.
3 days I bailed out in your new area over there,
Yeah,
so
I
thank
know.
you for that.
I gave you the area, but it's a long way from the hole.
True.
But you know, you take the water out of play and you make 3, and you can get out of there without too much trouble. You knocked that putt in, and then he got back and Morikawa almost chipped it in at 18, and his ball ran down. Scottie played a nice chip down, and of course he just knocked that ball in like champions do. That's the way he would like to finish it off. It's like the way we see it, like the way we. What am I trying to say? Like the way we see it finished off. You know, I get the right number of hits in there. But anyway, it was great. We got a great champion. I think it's, you know, winning 5 of the first 8 tournaments we played this year is pretty special. And we at Muirfield couldn't be more delighted. I hope Scottie feels the same.
Terrific. We've got a few questions lined up. We'll start back with Ben.